Sweet. So today was squat day. It went okay. I mean, it could have gone a lot better in my opinion. The rolled ankle is kind of like stopping me from. It's mentally stopping me from wanting to stay in the pause or stay in the bottom. Um, so I didn't go too heavy. I think the heaviest I went was 275, which isn't good for our current situation and kind of like where we want to be trajectory wise. So that's where we're working from. Um, and if we're talking about needing to squat 500 pounds by a certain deadline, we are 225 pounds behind LBS. But the 275 for three, so it's not hard. And we're doing a 1 second pause at the bottom. Um, we're just not going crazy heavy because I'm scared that it's going to be too much weight for my ankle or something. Um, we're going to work on that. The ankle's obviously going to get stronger again. So that's kind of where we're at. Um, as far as benching, we have really easy 205 right now. Um, we're definitely still capable of 220, but 205 felt like really safe, like pause and everything. It was awesome. So that leaves us about 110 pounds short of our current goal of 315. And then for the deadlift, we're still only at 345. We're going to be able to check Tuesday. Yeah, today's Sunday. So we're going to be able to check Tuesday. Um, and we are 340 pounds behind. So, in the grand scheme of things, all of these are really achievable except for the deadlift. The deadlift is pretty far out there for someone of my expertise, age, and because, you know, that as a collective. I know I can get it. Now, another thing that we have going for us is that we are going to compete in the USPA, United States Powerlifting Association, and we're going to compete. Hopefully, we want to get a. I don't know what the requirement is yet. I should probably educate myself on that. But we want to get into a compete at 90 kilograms, which is roughly 198 pounds. Not roughly, pretty closely. It's like point something pounds off, but 198 pounds. And that requires us to lose currently 12, 22 pounds, um, which I want to be able to compete in nationals, which the day for nationals is May 24th, or it's technically May 25th, but weigh-ins and everything are May 24th of 2026. And that puts us 174 days out. So we should easily be able to lose all the weight that we need to, considering that we have about 24 weeks and 6 days. Um, we'll do the math in a bit, but the 24 weeks should be, I think, ample time for me to get to my bench, get to my squat. The only issue is like I'm worried about the deadlift. And then we have 6 days to deload and take our time, rest properly, and get ready to compete. But overall, the 6 months, the amount of weight that I'd have to lose in those 6 months is 22 pounds divided by six, right? Six doesn't go into two, zero. Six goes into 22, 18 times, or three times 18, four. How many times? Drop the zero. How many times does six go into 40? Six times. Uh, and then, yeah. So we're looking at dropping about 3.61 pounds um, every month. 3.61 pounds every month would roughly estimate, we'll just say that should get me within range to be qualifying for the 90 kg um, we'll probably do a different video and we'll probably work on our diet. But that's really easy. That's like a pound a week, which for a lot of people that don't know, a pound a week is 3,500 calories a week of a deficit. 7 days out of the week, that's just being 500 calories in the deficit every single day, right? So that's really easy. Putting yourself in a deficit is kind of just hopping on the treadmill, incline of 8 to 12, a speed of 2.8 to 3.3. That's how I've always done it, or do Stairmaster, you know. Um, so 500 calorie every day. So another thing is I've been taking I've only been really working out 4 to 5 days per week. The way we're going to start working out now, though, is we're going to be doing a full 6 days, and the reason for that is because um, the current workout plan and progress that we have um, mapped for myself now requires like I'm just leaving so much on the table if I don't work out 6 days a week. Um, I can make the argument that maybe I'm not going to have as much good recovery or that I'm going to be, maybe overdoing it. But I firmly believe that, I know my body best, that when I put in the work, get good nutrition, sleep well, consume a healthy amount of protein for what I'm trying to do, and, like I'm not going, I'm going pretty intense, pretty hard, consistently. I know I can, I know I can manage it. And that will also help with the weight loss is being more active every single day. Right. As for the lifts, so we have 24 weeks um, until nationals, 24 weeks and 6 days, 174 days, right? But we need to compete in a lift prior to that. So, we'll check and see what would be more optimal. But with our current, we'll just say, because I know I got 220 in the bag for my bench, but we've just been working on the 205. So we're just gonna say, we'll say 205, right? The We have a difference right now of our goal of 315 of 110 pounds. If we're dividing that by 24, we are roughly at, that goes in 5 times, right? Sorry, I'm not too good at math. 24 times 5, 0, 2, that's 120. So, dang, that'd be pretty good. We're just going to do 24 times 4. 16 plus 80, 96, 4, 96. Carry over the 24. Wow, that went really well. Anyways, we would have to put on an average of 4.1 pounds on our bench weekly for those 24 weeks. I don't know about you. That sounds really doable. Like, we can do it. I need to cram in protein. I need to take my recovery seriously. I think I can do that. If I can't do that, that's okay. Like, again, we're looking to shoot for the moon. It'd be really cool if we got to the moon. Probably not, but landing in the stars. That's all I could ever ask for myself. Now, our other lifts contain a 500-pound squat. Pretty far off goals. We're currently doing the 275 for 3 for the pause. And that leaves us with 225 pounds. Dividing it by the 24 weeks. 0, 0. How many times was 24 going to 225? 10. What am I doing? Goodness gracious. Does it? It doesn't. What am I? Goodness gracious. It goes in roughly 9. Does it? Okay, we gotta do the math because now I'm just psyching myself out. 9 times 24, 4, 9, 37? 36. Gosh. 36, carry the 3, 9 times 2, 18, 18 plus 3, 21, 216, 216, subtracted 225, leaves us with 9 pounds. Drop the 0. That leaves us with 90, 90. How many times can 24 go into 90? Well, let's do some basic math. 2 times 4 is 8, or 2 times 4 is 8, 0, 80. Ooh, we're going to say 7 times. 7 sounds healthy. So 4 times 7 is 28. 7 times 2. Ooh, why did I say that? 3. Oh my gosh, I'm messing this up royally. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus the 1. So 72. Right. And we're going to stop there because there's no point in doing that much math for pounds because we need whole pounds. But we're looking at roughly 10 pounds a week on our squat. I think I can do that. I'm not too sure. I'm a little worried. I'm a little scared about that because that's something that, like squat's one of those things where it's not that it's more or less difficult per se because, like, it's a strenuous movement. It's more of like a mental thing. I feel like mentally I feel like I can only squat 225 pounds, right? Like, I don't know why it's a mental block for me sometimes. Physically, I know I can squat way more than that. So the carryover is kind of just, we're gonna have to, like, maybe load up heavy, prime our nervous system, and go for a good squat. We're gonna get there, right? So bench, squat. Now our last big piece is the dead. 340 pounds in a 24-week period. That's how much we got to gain. With the lower back pain, honestly, I didn't even expect this. So today was my first day squatting in a really long time. Um, and when I pause at the bottom, obviously my core engagement isn't the best because I haven't been bracing myself with a belt. I've been going beltless. Probably a good idea. I could probably, do so much better if I decided to wear a belt. But by doing the squats, I've actually noticed a lot more engagement in my lower back. And you may think to yourself, like, oh, that shouldn't be happening. Totally agree with you. In a perfect world, you should be able to brace your core well enough against the belt and also against itself to stay upright in the squatting, um, in the squat motion. But I think I was kind of happy that my lower back, I could feel it. Like, it felt like it was engaged equally on both sides. And that makes me happy. Even though it shows that I have poor form in the squat, it shows that I'm having slightly better development in my lower back, which if I can have a healthy, stable lower back, I will be less afraid for my deadlift, and my deadlift can maybe, grow exponentially instead of growing in increments. Okay. 24-week period, 340 pounds. I don't know. We're going to have to see. Does 24 go into 3? No, it goes in 0 times, goes into 34 once. We're left with 10 pounds. Does it go into the 10? No, it doesn't. What? Why am I missing something? I feel like I totally am missing something. I totally am. Because I put a 1 down thinking that 34 and 24 was 1. That's not it at all. It's 10. So how many times can 124 go to 100? Well, we know that 25 can go in 4 times, so we're just going to throw 4 down because anything over. So 14 point something. Rounding up, we need 15 pounds for the dead and 10 pounds for the squat and 5 pounds for the bench. Wow. What would that put us at? And I really wonder if I can have exponential growth if my chest can keep up. My biggest is my chest keeping up. I know my triceps will keep up because when I did injure my chest, the me doing 205 for my sets was close grip, like again on the inside, maybe shoulder width, and that was fine. So I know my triceps are far superior than my chest. I know I can keep up in that realm. I'm just worried about my chest. As far as squat, biggest scare is being in the hole. Um, but the way I've been kind of dealing with that is just doing pin squats. So setting the rack at a comfortable height and then just slowly going a little less, and less until I'm at proper depth. And that I can't even explain how much that's helped. That's helped worlds. Um, and then yeah, and the deadlift is kind of just that thing where I'm worried I won't have proper physical engagement in my lower back and it'll just like break. But I think having worries shows that I care about this, and I can't be too safe because then I'm gonna shelter myself from greatness. Like I'm gonna cut myself short, um, and I just need to go for it. But also, every single number that I'm subtracting from my goal weight. Like I want a 315 bench, and I'm currently at 205, and that makes up for 110, or that shows I need to make up 110 pounds by the time nationals rolls around. That 110 pounds, realistically, I can do 220 easy. So that number could be even less by how much I need to put on. Not by a lot, but a considerable amount. 15-pound difference. Um, and same thing with the squat. I'm squatting from 275, but I know I can squat more than that. I know for a fact I can squat 315 right now. Um, and that adds 40, 45, 40 pounds. Um, and that could even take away from the 10 pounds that I need to add weekly. And as far as the dead, I'm maxed right now at 345. It really sounds like deadlift's going to be my hardest one. Um, Again, we're shooting for a 1500 total. So if I fall short in some category, hopefully, by the grace of goodness, I can make up for it in a different way. I can either make up for it on my squat or my bench. I have no idea what the likelihood of that is, but starting now, I'm going to be getting to bed, at the latest of 9:30, hopefully, if I can fall asleep, which would be awesome. Waking up at 5 to 6, um, getting ready, eating all 3 meals of the day that the galley provides me instead of just the two, because I'm losing out on good macros, and I know for a fact that I'm going to be burning an ample amount if I'm going really hard. And going back to how much weight I would need to lose, um, I did a lot of wrestling when I was younger, and although it may not be healthier in the total time span of 6 months, I could really cut 22 pounds in a healthy manner, like, or not even really a healthy manner, but in like an easy amount in like 2 months. So I'm not too concerned about that. I think slowly over time, my body will naturally shift, and who knows? Maybe I'll go up in a weight class, which ugh, we don't really want to do because I'm only like 5'6". I'm really short in comparison to a lot of guys I would be competing against in my weight class of 198. Most guys in 198, I want to say, are between 5'8", and 5'10". Um, and most of them definitely have better leverages than I do. I have fairly short arms, and I also have kind of short legs. Like I have a long torso, so it makes sumo and conventional just as hard, and it definitely makes squatting bad. Bench, on the other hand, Who knows? Maybe I could be a bench specialist. No, I can't. But big goals, big dreams, big aspirations. Uh, we had a date that we had to register by. We have to register for 2020. We have to register for nationals in 2026 or 27 of April of 2026. The 27th of April is when we have to register by. Man, let's hope I have um, pretty good planning, pretty good progress, and yeah, wish me wish me a lot of luck.